This is Kelly Pickle with Mike Missel, going through some of his old duty stations, particularly in engine room number 2.
Injector, they had these valves, and what they would do is you try to pump out, they pull these in these to like main drain, and then you would try to isolate. You can isolate the machine rooms. These are built sections, but a lot of times they would work, and sometimes they wouldn't work. So. And see the periscope right there, and what they have the periscope on the boiler front, and what they would do if they could, they would have a smoke watch up on the O11 level, and he would tell the fire rooms after which fire room is smoking black. Like this is 4 boiler. There's 1 and 2 boiler there. This is 3 and 4, and they could tell. Like the forward stack of the ship is 1 fire room, 2 fire room, and then you have we call the assholes. That's where the steam. We used to hate when they were doing setting safeties on the boiler. It would be all day, take forever to do that. And like I said, the periscope, it's down on the boiler front, and they can see what this color of the smoke is coming out of the stack. If you're smoking black, it means too much fuel and it's not efficient for them. And then there's the other boiler here. See, 2 group was always we were actually the last group to steam the New Jersey. We had a defuel, and they lit us off to help get the fuel off the ship faster. So we were the very last group, and I was actually the last lower level man on the engine room side. So wow, you guys put diamond plate on the upper level, huh? The boilers. 600 PSI steam.
Carl, quarter deck.
This is an escape shuttle for the fire room in case there was an emergency, there was a fire. You know, the guys would get into the trunk, shut the door,
Carl, quarter deck.
dug it down, and then they would come up here. On the engine room, for 2 engine room, it's in across the passageway. I'll show you where it's at. There's water, these flooding tanks, firefighting station. This is what repair? I think this is repair 5-4. I'm not sure. Yeah, this is 2 engine room right here. Oh, this is 5-4. Repair 5-4. Almost. So, and then on that's where the 5-inch. That's a storage for a 5-inch. Okay. This is the hatch for the engine. This is if we needed to lift anything out of the engine room, you lift this hatch, and it swings on hinges, and it's thick. It's the same as the armor. The armor, I think it was like 9 inches thick. And there's the dog, so you could turn it. The tool right there. This was I don't know who this. Well, only time we ever came in here is when we did our escape trunk is in here for the engine room. It's back there. We came up here. That's where the escape trunk. I don't know if you guys still have any old OBAs. Yeah, sure. Holy cow, man. Still have an OBA in there. Let's see. Let's tag. Okay. Yeah, you guys found an old OBA. This was what the firefighting thing in the canisters were right here. They're dangerous as all heck. There's no canister in here now, but you used to slide the canister in there. Holy cow. Now they wear, now the Navy wears what normal firefighters wear, the breathing apparatus. So this is the entrance to the best engine room. So.
Okay.
Remember I was telling you about the oil samples, and what we did, this was lit up, and you have the standards and oil samples. See, number 2, the storage tank. 2A, the standard, the storage tank was right there. You have a storage tank here, and 2B storage. You had storage tanks for oil, and you would take samples of the oil. Here's the number main for the engine. Generators 3 and 4 SSTG, lube oil service pump, main circ pump, the thrust block, which is down in the shaft alley. Number 1, you remember I was talking about spring bearings? Here you go. There's 9 spring bearings for this engine. And then what you the standard oil, and then after you would put the messenger and the watch would put the oil samples in here, so they would see what the oil looks like for the watch. Now would be they take the oil samples, the 12 to 6 watch, the mid watch. This is main air injector. You see they pulled the ends off. The switchboard, electrical switchboard. I can show you this is number 4 main engine. And then these would be, see there are locks on there because these are not, these are bearings where you see the temperature. Those are bearings. And these are actually inspection ports. We take these, well the inspection ports are right here. This is your main jacking gear. And what you would do is like you're in port after you come back from underway, and you would engage the jacking gear and the engine. That's how you cool the oil down on the main engine after you're underway, by jacking the shaft. It would actually turn the shaft. Then you can see, well, there's a mirror. Everybody's probably wondering why there's a mirror. I can show you in the throttle board. When you did the throttles, you can see the shaft spinning. And in case you had to stop and lock the shaft underway, you could watch the shaft from the throttle board, and you can see it when it slows down. It actually stops, and then you say, okay, the shaft stopped. The upper level man would come over and he would stop and lock it. He would stop and lock the engine. Here's your LP turbine. If anybody, here's a question, here's a trivia question. Ask them what this pit's called below. It's called the snake pit. I don't know why it's called the snake pit, but it's the snake pit. So that's a trivia question I can ask them. This, well, rudder angle or clock doesn't work anymore. It's probably, nobody has the key. Oh well, they took this out. The shaft, tell you how many on your watch. We used to have a, there's a chair right here, and then we used to have a table right here. And what we did with the table, the top watch, you would have a watch. He would be called machinist made as the watch. We call him top watch. And then you had your throttleman. This is your forward throttle. This is your aft throttle. Your shaft RPM. Tell how many RPMs. And what would happen is someone's playing with it. This is how many revolutions. Like if we were doing scene anchor detail, they would give us, I forgot what the number was, but then here's the bell. Like if we would get a third, 2/3, standard, full flank, we would have on the chart, we would know the RPM that would be required for us to answer the bell. Here's your main steam. This is temperature, pressure. This is vacuum, because you need a vacuum. To get the steam going into the high pressure turbine. You know, because if you didn't have vacuum, you wouldn't be able to move steam. Here's all your oil pressures. This is auxiliary steam, because auxiliary steam is very important here. Aux exhaust. Oh my goodness. Condenser discharge. You can see everything that's going in there. Air telephone. Look, and the numbers are still on there. What? What? Oh, it's just a water. It's just a sink. It was. Yeah, everybody washed their hands. This is their storage tanks. Here's the other storage tanks for the oil storage tanks. Here's the fire rooms numbers. MMA. Oil lab. Thrust block. That's the shaft alley. Fire rooms. Switchboards. These numbers. Holy cow. You know, right here used to be the. They would have, you know, we have the halon. We have the halon system on the ship. This was the main discharge when they're evacuating the space. The top watch would set it off. We never really used this board, but this board right here is all the valves location for the engineering, so we would know, you know, what's being used and what's not being used. And here it's like on fire damage control guys, 3JV, 2JV, phone. This phone, you could talk to anybody in the engineering space, you know, from, you know, so, let's see. Yeah, see, it doesn't work. It's not on. This squawk box, we never used it. Somebody has the throttle open.
Yeah, I think they were doing work down here.
Yeah, the throttle's open. Yeah, there's different. Here it is. Yeah, here's our okay, 2/3, 1. We would know how many RPMs we would need to do. Yeah, there's a bunch of writing. If you look around, you'll find it. This is high pressure steam turbine. Low pressure crossover pipe. They go from here, cross over to here, and the condenser, that big thing that sits downstairs, sits below that. This steam goes down. What happens is the water cools the steam down, and it becomes water again. It goes from steam to water. It's just a big circle. The generators didn't have electric oil pump, so before they got up and start running, you would actually have to hand crank this thing like this. Let's see, you hear the oil. Yeah, you would have to actually crank it because you're watching the RPMs right. And then when you got below a certain RPM, you were like cranking it and cranking it and cranking it and cranking it until it actually stopped, and you're like, my God, everybody was like crank. So. There's switchboards. Yeah, I'm not gonna crawl back there. They're supposed to, I think we put a plaque back there, but I'm not sure. Yeah, oh yeah, we named it. There's a plaque on here, Heather. I forgot about these. I can't see what this one is. There's a lower level. This is the throttle for the steam turbines. What they would do is when they, when you're on turbines, you would work with the electrician because to bring the load up. You don't want to bring the turbine up too, the generator too fast, because then you would not get the load. You know, they gotta balance the load and all that. This is the throttle for the turbine, and the fancy tripping device for. So this is so old. This is the tripping device for the. When you want to trip the generator offline, it'd be like this, and then you just trip it. And it would be like that, trip the generator. We used to have all our, this is where we put our plaque. We put our plaque right there. But on the lower level, I can tell you from up here, that's the steam driven main lube pump right there. When you're underway, that would be online. Here's your filter box right there, with the yellow and white stripes. That's a filter box, and one station would be online at all times. It would catch debris, whatnot, and usually you would have to catch. You would change it. You would have to change sides to see if there's anything like metal or anything along that line in the basket. And it's called we called it cyclosing the main. And then that's the electric lube pump. So when you're in port and you're not steaming, you're just on, like after underway and you shut down, you would use electric oil pump when you're jacking the main engine over, because it'd be supplying the oil. But they're cool. The oil sump for this, the engine sits on the oil sump. And what happens is the oil comes out of the pumps and it gets sprayed into these right here. Oil, there's oil here, oil there. What happens is it gets sprayed into these nozzles. These are actually oil nozzles. And it would spray into the main gears, and it would help lubricate it. And the halon lines. Yeah, the snake pit. We always used to keep this clean. So yeah, so this is where I worked at from late '88 to decommission. Had a good time. This is good. This is a good place. This is probably the best engine room here. So this is a guarding valve. See what they have guarding valves down here, and when you're bringing main steam up, and you would have these guarding valves, and you would open the guarding valves slowly when you're letting steam in into the space. Because what we would do is we would warm up, what they call warm up and drain down the valves. And each valve has auxiliary, they all have auxiliary, they all have like little drain valves. If you notice all these little valves like around here, like something like this, these are drain valves. And when they bring the boilers online, you would open, they would say, okay, warm up, drain down, main steam valve, blah, 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 blah. And then that's what you would do. You would open these drain valves. And once you would notice, they would ask you if there was any condensate or whatever is coming out. And we would say, oh, yeah, they're clear. And they would say, okay, open main steam valve, such and such. You know, and you would open main steam valve, such and such. You know, these are auxiliary. We had to make these. All these, I remember because for the OPI inspection, the other ones were getting so bad, so we actually got soda cans and different things, and we actually made new ones. So we made these. Yeah, so. Yeah, there was when you were like, if you were going aft, you would have to make sure you didn't go below 500 psi or 520, you know, because the do not drag steam below 525, you know, because then they would have problems over there. Yeah, so, and the messenger to watch, he would take all the readings on the board every hour. He would take readings every block. Every hour they would take readings of everything on this board. Yeah, so when you stand and watch, you're like, right here. Tell you wrong direction. And this right here, this is a system bypass. When you open your throttle, when you shut this and you're opening this, you have to open this. Remember this, like before you open this one. You open this. Now I remember we all pitched in for this. Somebody paid for that to get it done. And they paid. We pitched in too for the plaque, but it's not here. So, man, it's hot down there. It's just like we're underway. Jeez. Oh, these here? These are weights. This is for gland seal. You're probably like, what the heck they get these little weights for? This is how old ship is. And a gland seal steam right here. Where is the gauge? Oh, right here. You would have to maintain a gland seal. You would try to keep it about 1. And the weights control the gland seal steam. You keep a vacuum in the gland seal would make sure it's airtight, so you keep a vacuum into the steam. The turbine. That's rudder angle. If they were up there on the bridge, if they would start turning the rudder a certain way, they would actually slow the shaft down, because that means there's more pressure on the shaft, on the screw. And then when all of a sudden they swing back, you would try to the new guys would try to catch up with it, and you're like, no, just let it go, because they're swinging the rudder, and the shaft will go back to the same speed. You know, don't try to, what we call truck driving. Don't try to chase them. You know. And then this is the alarm for down in the thrust block. This is thrust block 1. Start. Lube pump. Yeah, it's an electric lube pump. And it's absolute pressure. And then hydro alarm. This is a salt. And we would do water samples too. You take water samples, and if the salt, if the condenser water is too salty, it won't. There's a problem. So we would get an alarm. You know, so high pressure steam drain. You see, these drains all over the place. And we painted. We took care of this place, so you guys shouldn't have had that much to do down here. But generators, they took all the plaques. I hate to tell you this, the plaques disappeared off the generator. This is a small strainer basket for generator, same as downstairs on the turbine. Because here's your main, this is your turbine for the generator right here. See how it has a lock and spring. And here's your oil duplex and your oil right here. So. See, right there, it's like a little strainer basket. That's what it is, a little basket. And that's how you determine if you're having problems with it. This determines which one's on service, you know, which basket. So oil strainer basket, just like the main for the main engine. All the turbines have it. There's the inspection portal for the turbine. Yeah, see, these are Westinghouse here, made in Pittsburgh, PA. And so is the main engine. It's a Westinghouse. And the plaque's missing. Switchboard. This is your halon station. If there was halon bottles here, and they're over there. Probably see these all over the ship. These are for in case the ship is damaged electrically, and we have these black cords, and there should be one around here that you can plug it in, and the ship will get power, maintain power. So if you lose, so if that space loses power, we can plug in power here, and so the space can get power. It's part of the damage control here. So this is where the oil king was, and this is he controlled all the fuel and controlled the oil, fuel and oil samples. So he can, you know, they know how much fuel and way the fuel looked, because the boiler guys did the fuel. We didn't touch the fuel. You know, so. And then here it's 3 engine. It's 3 engine. This is main control right here. This is main control. 3 engine rooms, main control. So you guys. Hopefully you guys can get that open, because you can see the throttle board, you know. So. Here's a pretty good OBA right here. Not that junk one. You know, and then you had this clock. And you go off. It would go off. You would go back to 30, you would set it for 30, you have 30 minutes, and then that bell would go off. Yeah. It's like the today's firefighters, they own the bottles. Yeah, so they don't wear these anymore. They don't do that anymore. Nice back out. That's where his water fountains are. That was Mardet berthing on both sides of the. When you go back to towards turret 3, Mardet berthing was on both sides. And that's 4 engine. That's 4 fire room, 4 engine room. And Mardet berthing, you see it says Mardet on it. So, and, well, they put this. They got pretty smart, because everybody bumped their head. Guaranteed they bumped their head on there. You know, so. Guys are still rewinding motors. You can rewind a motor in here. You know, electricians were pretty good. So if you had a motor went out, they could repair it if it needed to be, rewind it and test it and get it back to you. So this was the engineer's office. You guys made it in Voltimate's office now. Yeah, this was the engineer. Yeah, this was the chief engineer and what's it called, I can't think of it. The chief engineer's office. I can't even think of the other person's what it's called. So, but you guys made it in Ultimate's office. This is a machine shop, as you can see these guys. These are all original machines from the time the ship was commissioned. Somebody hit the table with the with the milling machine. Jeez. So. Oh, it was the MPO's office. Sorry, the chief engineer's office and the main propulsion officer. That was his office. Here.
You guys put boats and mates in there, man. That's sacrilegious.
Oh, okay.
This is used for temporary power. Yeah. They would use these for temporary power. We'll plug it in here. And trays, but then this was a big coffee. This is where the coffee was. And we had the ice machines that never worked. The ice machines never worked on the ship. And bug juice dispensers, but this is where the coffee pot was. This was in that room right there, that door, that hatch, was the welfare and rec. We had a huge TV, huge big screen TV right there, and it was on the ship when it was decommissioned. So somewhere it disappeared. Soda machine is right here. This is where all the soda machines go, right here. And underway at night, they would have that open, and you get like Guido out of there, candy, whatever, out of this right here. Like a lot of the M Division guys that I'm with, this is kind of where we sat in. A lot of some people spread out. A lot of the people that I work with, we all sat here together. Yeah. If you had a coffin rack, well, this wasn't here. This was on the other side. This is dirty clothes. This was third class. I don't know why they say R division on there. It wasn't. It was never R division. This was part of M division here. This berthing. This. Chuck Wolfer slept there. Ryan Russell slept there. But sometimes the mess cooks, the guys from the mess would leave out food, and it would be a mistake because sometimes we cut off a watch. Our TV was there, and we would play cards. We always played spades, hearts, dominoes, you name it. We played right there, and sometimes when they would leave out bread, ham, and cheese, and that would be a mistake for us because the next thing you know, it's all we all take it. I can see it. We take it. So when I first got on board, I was here because Lon, I can't think of his name now. I have to look at the cruise book. And John Maris was here. And then when he left, I went down there. John was still here, and when John left, I got the middle one. I took the middle one. So it's like I knew exactly where I was going, huh? Is the light work? No. Make sure there's nothing. You guys didn't find anything. Yeah, my name was right here. You used to be able to see my name. This tape right here. But you guys look like you guys kind of painted over. And we had the privacy curtains here, so you could get some privacy. You know, they would wake you up. But then And if you get damage control, if you got a general quarters, everybody's trying to fall out of bed all at one time, you know. You see on his yellow, this guy, when you said the space was good, you thought it was good to go for closeout, he would come and actually write okay and his initials. That's got somebody from the shipyard or from the Navy, civilian with the Navy. Yeah. Some history. Yeah. I can't remember what we were doing again. It's the problem. Oh, McGeorge. Somebody's name's still there. I know him. McGeorge? Yeah. It's actually mine. Right there. My stand-up fucker. Still gotta do the same thing. Yeah, stand-up locker right here. Yeah, if you had a coffin rack, you were only allowed to have one stand-up, but sometimes we had multiple lockers. You know, you guys with the checkers. TV. Yeah, this was never our division. This was M division right here. Maybe you guys changed it to. Yeah, this was M division. Yeah, so you guys. Yeah, cruise quarters. So this is.
You happy to be home?
Oh yeah.
What does it feel like?
Oh, this is my house, you know. So. Yeah, the responsibility. Who was responsible for the maintenance of the doors and hatches and everything in the compartment? So, this is part of PMs. You know. Woohoo! I got to see where I slept. Now you got to see where I slept on board on the battleship. These guys.
Which ones?
I can't remember their names, but I know all three of this guy,
Yeah.
this guy, and this guy. I know all three of them.
Oh, wow.
That's who cut my hair right here on the ship right here. That guy. I can't remember his name to save my life. It's just like a regular barbershop, you know. When you you come in here, it's like when you go out in town to get a haircut. You always have your favorite barber, so you're gonna go to your favorite barber who's cutting hair here. You know. That looks kind of scary there. The mannequin's like got the clippers, like he's ready to kill things. Yes, I know. I gotta look up. Ship's barbershop, and it was the same. Officers and chiefs bring their uniforms down here to get it dry cleaned. Enlisted, we couldn't bring it down here. We weren't allowed because they were always busy with chiefs and the officers. You know, khakis. They would always get their khakis dry cleaned and fenced and stuff. And then here's This wasn't a print shop. This was the office for dry cleaning. This was the dry cleaning and everything's office. You guys made this into the brig. You guys redid it. This was the weight room. We never had a brig on board the ship when I was on board. Yeah. This was always the brig. It was always considered the brig, but. It was a weight room. There was a weight room in here. There was two different weight rooms down here, and then one up right below the tomahawks. So we didn't have this on board the ship when I was here, but we had this a laundry. Divisions. Each division would bring their bags in here. When I worked in here for a little bit, and they would separate blues and whites, and then you would wash by division. And put them in these machines. You try to put them all together, each division, so you won't mix it up. Say the laundry bags here, you know, and then sometimes you will wash the bag with it because the bag will stink, so you wash the bag with the clothes. So you put the bag in there, and then after they're done, this is what it looks like. This is what a washing machine looks like on a Navy ship. Throw your stuff in there, and then you can bump it. So you control here, jog it. You know, so. And then you wash it, and then you put it back in the bag, and put them in the dryer. They're secure. Yeah, and everything dried on hot, and then you had a timer. You know. So they use this though. The boats and mates would come down with their how you guys have the awnings on the quarter decks, and we would wash them, and then we would press. They would run them through here to press them, so they get the wrinkles out of it. The pressing room, like you see the chiefs or the officers, they would just have normal khakis. They wouldn't require to be dry cleaned. It'd just be normal working khakis, but we would have to press them when you're here in the laundry. So you would press the laundry.